I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take it on. I'll make mistakes, but mistakes make you strong.
You guys ready?
I don't know.
Yeah, you gotta edit this out. Alright, hey, what's up guys? So today I want to go over some frequently asked questions people have before joining the Guard. I want to kind of bring some transparency to it. Instead of like giving you guys a recruiter's perspective, I kind of want to give you a perspective from the enlisted side. So, do you guys want to introduce yourselves? I'm Specialist Kellum. 8-year specialist.
Classic.
Sergeant Ciccio.
Sergeant Bales.
Kind of want to make this video because they're offering $40,000 bonuses right now, and this is if you enlist and go to boot camp before September 30th. So kind of want to like bring to light some frequently asked questions. So first question would be like, what is the day-to-day life like in the Army National Guard? Most recruiters are going to show you that video of like you guys riding in tanks, jumping out of helicopters, shooting people. That's not really what weekend is like in the Army National Guard. That's probably like a small fraction of your time in the National Guard. You guys want to bring to light some experiences? What do you guys, how do you view a drill weekend in the Army National Guard?
Busy work.
Especially from like the enlisted side, I would say we're like glorified janitors.
But it's not always what it is. I mean, obviously there's going to be cleaning that has to be done, especially at the end of drill. You know, you're not going to get released at whatever time the first sergeant says he's going to release you if you're not clean, if everything's not cleaned. But if you're in tune with what's going on and kind of, yeah, I know as a lower enlisted, when I first started out, I had no idea what was going on for the whole year as far as the drill schedule and what was planned out each drill. But you know, now that I'm a sergeant, I kind of pay attention a little bit more to, hey, what's the plan for this year? What each drill holds, and kind of what our goal is. So you kind of pay attention to that. You're like, hey, you know, what do we need to accomplish today? So it can be. It can be a little chaotic. You know, people are like, oh, hey, we need to do this, we need to do that. But there's always, whether or not you know what's going on that drill, like basically the general idea of what the goal is to accomplish, there's always going to be something else that comes up. Like, oh, hey, we need to get everyone's driver's licenses. They're missing all of a sudden. It's like we just had them print them out last month. So there's always going to be something like that because it's government work. So
some units are more squared away than others.
Yeah.
So
has a lot to do with your leadership.
Yeah, and kind of like going back to what you're saying, that like as you kind of like are in each year, you kind of realize there's a pattern to how the year is run. So usually around summertime is when you're going to be doing your annual training, and then more towards the wintertime is kind of like when you're like slowing down a little bit, you're in like recovery phase, and then you go into your annual fitness APFT test basically, which is, what is it called now, the new test coming out? The AC?
No idea. CrossFit.
ACFT.
Combat fitness test, I think.
Yeah, so that's going to be coming out this year in December, and then usually the start of the new year is kind of when you like requalify on your weapon systems, and then you kind of work back towards getting ready for that next annual training.
And normally they say 1 weekend a month, but lately it's been 4 days a month.
Yeah, it kind of
depends on the unit cycle for if they're getting ready to deploy. So I guess we're on the way there. That's why we've been coming here a lot. But
yeah, so drills are run by mutas. They don't really go by days. So like a muta 2 would be a 1-day drill. And I looked at the frequently asked questions page on the Army National Guard recruiting page, and it was saying that drills are usually Saturday and Sunday. Sometimes they'll make you report on Fridays. That is like post-deployment. Like post-deployment, we were here muta 4s, Saturday and Sundays. But it's kind of like the crawl, walk, run phase. So each year you are like increasing your number of days that you're going to be at drill. So right now we're at like muta 6s and muta 8s. So we're here like Thursday to Sunday. So it's not always going to be Saturday and Sunday, like, and then 2 weeks in the summer. Like, no. Like, you could be here Thursday to Sunday, and this year we're doing a 3-week annual training, which is what we get starting today. We're leaving tomorrow.
It depends what kind of unit you're in, though. We can only offer advice from the combat side. So
yeah,
we don't know what it's like to be in like an all admin unit.
It's a good thing to point out.
I honestly don't care about that.
And two, this question, the bonuses, were they specifically for 11 Bravo as well?
11 Charlie.
Or
11 Bravo, 11 Charlie.
11 Charlie.
Or 11X.
The 11
I
series.
didn't
So just
Yeah.
the 11 series, I think, because
Yeah.
the Army is really short on the 11 series, I think, is what they're trying to push for, which is the combat side of it. So
So if you are seeing that bonus, yeah, it's because they're looking for combat arms people. So let's go to the next question. Do you guys think joining the Army National Guard is worth it? And do you...
I say
What
yeah.
do you...
Yeah.
Yeah.
As much as we
laugh about it.
as much as people moan about things we got to do, there's been times where it's helped me land civilian jobs. Like it just helped me get my job as a cop, and I think that is worth it on its own.
Definitely opens up job opportunities for you.
So worth it, I guess to kind of clarify, worth it even if it is just, one contract, possibly. I mean, obviously all of us here I think are either have already or just signed today to extend past their first 6-year contract. So even if they had done a 6-year, I think they would have said that it'd been beneficial.
It's good experience.
Yeah, for their civilian career.
Life lessons.
Yeah.
And you get to, if you can exploit a lot of it, you get to travel and go to different schools and get even more experiences, training schools. So it depends on your efforts, really.
Yeah.
Like how proactive you are in
What you put in it, you'll get out of it, basically.
standing out from other people.
And also, it's kind of like a brotherhood too. You meet a lot of close friends, and
Some people just get screwed though and become like a
8-year specialist.
8-year specialist, and then get bumped out to a PFC, and then they go back.
Good character, all
And they get mad about that.
That's the thing. I've been an 8-year specialist only because I haven't been to BLC. Like I've checked all the other blocks, but I haven't gone to the specialty school basic leadership course. Same as Prather. So it's like one of those things that like, if you're an 8-year specialist on the Guard, it's not really uncommon compared to active duty. What were your expectations coming in the Guard? Like, were they like when you talked to a recruiter compared to how you've seen it now? Do you think they kind of lied to you, or?
I think my recruiter did some time SL during my time, so I don't trust anything he said. But he told me the basics, and I just said I wanted infantry, and then I was at basic like a month later. So.
And he got his bonus probably.
I did not get a bonus at all. So.
The recruiters were getting bonuses.
Oh yeah, they probably did.
They got bonuses for that, so they'll probably push that. Like, oh, we only got slots open for infantry. If your recruiter is telling you that, I highly encourage you to go down the street to the next recruiter and ask them for advice and help.
The best thing is just get somebody who's already done it and been there, because I didn't really even ask anybody. I just sort of did it. It was like a thoughtless decision. It was like, I kind of want to do this. So
that's
I did
how
it.
I was.
And you think that you would learn from something, like what Sergeant Bales experienced. But then, as his friend, when I went to join, I said, hey, come with me to the recruiter office and help me work through this. He didn't help me at all. It was just like, it's been so long ago, and I pretty much
Sink or
got
swim, man.
shafted.
I mean, I wouldn't call it shafted. I was just misinformed. I thought you had to like earn certain things and not go in with
do a lot of research.
You could go in with a ranger contract and be in the ranger battalion, active duty. I didn't know you could do that. You could go be special forces right away if you're 21. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
So
do your research, ask your questions, find a mentor, find somebody that's in the Army National Guard itself, and ask them questions. Not a recruiter, because they're not always going to be as truthful. Hate to say it, but do your research, figure out what you want. Don't just go to the recruiting office.
Recruiters are like salesmen, like at a dealership. They're gonna, try to get you to sign that paper.
And two, they're under a lot of pressure because that is their job. Just like our, the job in the infantry is to close and destroy with the enemy. Like if you're not doing your job, you're gonna get in trouble for it. And they have, they have to keep their numbers up. And when they're not doing that, their leadership, comes down on them pretty hard. So like he's saying, it is all about meeting the quotas. So which you kind of understand, and that's part of the problem of why the Army at a readiness level is not where it needs to be, because we've been lowering the standard and letting people come in and then you have soldiers who are overweight and who have possibly never even passed the PT test, maybe once at basic, but possibly never ever. And they've been in for more than 3 years and still haven't passed the PT test. So really, find out what it is you want to do, whether it's a career or not a career. Decide, am I cut out for this? Can I handle this physically, mentally, emotionally?
If you're the type of person that gets offended easy or is easily broken physically, like, you probably shouldn't choose a combat MOS. I mean, if you want to excel in it, like, I don't see why you would want to do anything in life and not do your best at it. But, if you just want to show up and do your job, there's room for that too, I guess. We need people to just be there, and then we need people to stand out from those people.
That being said, too, they're really pushing to kind of change the infantry mindset. I don't know how much you guys know or have done research about, but the Ranger battalions, and they are a tier 1 kind of operating unit. The Army higher-ups, staff, are trying to push to make the infantry more like that, to be more physically fit, more combat ready. If you're not willing to accept that challenge, and that's not where the Army is trying to go for sure. They're trying to go forward, definitely not trying to go backwards. So consider that. If you want to be part of that, awesome, join and come be a part of building something better.
So before you even join the military and get the MOS that you want, you have to take the ASVAB. I highly encourage you guys to make sure you get a GT score above 110. I know one of the questions that I got was, what are your chances of getting sent to schools like sniper school, air assault school? Having that GT score above 110 is going to set you apart from everybody else. Not only that, you're going to be willing to show up and perform physically on your fitness test. What are you guys' thoughts on retaking the ASVABs to make sure you get that GT score that you need? Do you think they should, or?
Yeah, 100%. I had to retake it twice. I went into the Army not knowing that the GT score had a lot to do with schools and stuff like that. So they told me the bare minimum to get 11 Bravo, and I didn't study. I went, took it, got a high enough ASVAB score, GT score to go infantry, but later on when I came to the section, I had to retake it. Mm-hmm. It took me 2 times. I didn't study a whole lot the first time. The second time I really had to sit down and go back to the basics.
Which you only have a limited amount of time.
Yeah, you have 3 times to take it after. So you'll take it the first time at MEPS or at your recruiting station, however they do it. And then you have 3 additional times you can take it.
So also consider, if you know what you want to do, you can research kind of what the requirements are as far as GT score goes, and then go ahead and study, before you take it the first time. There are study guides out there, study apps, easily accessible. And I don't know if anybody has one to recommend that we can leave a link, or even
the
just Google
ASVAB for Dummies book.
Yeah.
That's what I bought. Ordered it off Amazon and just done all the practice tests. I really did, man.
If you have a college degree, you should be fine. Taking basic college math, you should be good.
Yeah, but that GT score of 110 is going to help set you apart as well for schools, because I know a lot of you guys are gung-ho about join the military, but you want to go do the schools right away, but you don't have that GT score. So I encourage you to study and retake the ASVAB to get that GT score of 110.
Your PT score is also important.
Yeah, PT is huge.
You can't be like that, scraping the bottom of the barrel, barely passing, if you want to do well in this job. So
rucking too.
Yeah, carrying a lot of weight over distance.
And there's plenty of. If you guys are interested in the new Army Combat Physical Fitness Test, you guys can look up videos on that. I know they're on YouTube.
You know what we should do? We should do a video of us doing the test.
I don't like that.
We should definitely do that.
I think a lot of people are going to get injured doing this test. So
we should definitely test it out in a couple months, because it's going to be coming out in December.
Yeah. I think it's unnecessary.
I do too. It's a lot of extra shit.
Let's just do a 5-mile run. That's it.
Yeah. Obstacle course, 5-mile run.
5-mile run, pull-ups.
So how does being in the Guard affect your civilian life? So police officer, firefighter, you own your own business. contract service, flight attendant. So, as a police officer, how does it affect you?
Well, cop stuff is like you can pretty much leave it and come back to it whenever you want. I mean, there's cases you have, trial you might have, but they work with you pretty well, at least for me. And I mean, it's always going to come at the most inconvenient time, drill or hurricane duty. So you have to keep that in mind too. If you have a family, it's going to hit you the hardest. I don't have that problem. So I'm not saying it's a problem, but I don't have that issue right now at least. So I'm kind of more free and available. But if you have a new baby or a new dog,
he's available.
He's available. He's looking. As a police officer and firefighters, you guys get X amount of paid leave hours for military training, right?
Well, the particular city that we work for gives us like 240 hours of paid military leave.
It's pretty common,
which is pretty nice, and I think there's several other places that do that specific amount. I think the requirement is only 180 hours. That they're required to give you, but they're always going to give you time off to go do whatever you need to do. You might not have paid leave, so that would be, I guess, considered double dipping. So you might not get paid from your regular job, but nothing would count against you. They can't, you'd still have now, like, just drill and AT doesn't really apply necessarily, but if you go on deployment, you're going to get as much seniority as you normally would if you were actually there working. None of that is going to count against you. They legally can't hold that against you.
That is a good thing to note.
That's state specific though, so this is just for Florida.
Yeah.
It depends on where you're from.
But
in Florida, you've got your position can be held for up to like 5 years or something.
Is that only Florida?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just for the Florida Guard. I don't know though.
That's a good thing to
carry
know.
Over.
I think it also depends on your job too. I mean,
you were a business owner,
Yeah,
so how
so
did that affect you? Because you had contracts, you had
a lot of
clients.
times, on our contract work, we were able to, keep my guys busy and stuff while I was gone. But being in Florida, hurricane season comes. That's where I have the opportunity to make a lot of money, and you gotta show up
Guard
because you
comes
gotta
first.
put on orders, and that comes first as priority. So I mean, it did hurt, a little bit, but kind of goes into play on scheduling, set up your civilian life and military career.
One thing that I've noticed too is as far as like trying to balance both of them, because whether you're on law enforcement or at least in the fire service too, it's like you have classes for professional development there as well. So you want to do classes there in your civilian job, but then you also want to do some of these military schools. So you kind of have to. It is just it's a balancing act, and just kind of deciding, hey, like this year, I'm gonna pick out some things I want to do. Like I want to do, basic leadership course. So I'm eligible for promotion next year, or then you say, and I'm just gonna do, this one thing for my civilian career, this one course or whatever. And because it can add up real quick, because remember, like BLC would be in addition to your regular drill schedule, so you still have your regular weekends, and then depending on when it falls, you'd still be going to AT like us when we're about to leave for our 3-week AT. So it's just kind of balancing and back and forth, but in the end, if you can balance it right, and sometimes it is just timing. Sometimes it does not work out well, good. I know with my career, and I think or the National Guard career, probably both, and for Bale's career, like it seems to kind of been working out pretty good.
Yeah, I think
lately,
if you were to choose to be a police officer or a firefighter, I think that'd be like the best route to take if you're gonna make the Guard a career, because they kind of work with you a lot more than other companies. So they get paid leave for military. As a flight attendant, we don't get paid leave. I don't know any other jobs that do paid leave
just
besides police and firefighter.
Municipal jobs, it could just be like one of the guys worked at a water plant, or something.
State jobs and
State
jobs similar to that.
What kind of punishments can you receive as an enlisted soldier in the Army National Guard?
So it depends how dumb you are.
Basic training.
Yeah.
At basic, right now?
No, in the Army National Guard.
Oh,
So just remember, you're only here for a weekend, but you have to see them again the next month.
Yeah, don't
So-
go AWOL.
The best thing to do is just show up, right uniform, right place, right time.
Pass your
it's
PT.
mostly
the right
paperwork
shit.
now. If you want to get someone in trouble or kick them out, you document it.
Counselings, Article 15s. I haven't seen anybody get Article 15, but I've seen a lot of people, if they're not
Yeah.
passing the PD test, our last company, we saw 3 or 4 people that got demoted from like E6s to E5s all the way down to E4s and 3s. Every month they don't pass, they get demoted. So that's something that some units are implementing.
I think it's great.
I think it's awesome.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Gotta hold the standard. Sometimes it'll go a long way, and it kind of sounds dumb, like everything that you learn in basic about like your common courtesy and respect to NCOs. Like when you actually practice that in the National Guard, because it gets pretty lax around here sometimes. Like they show up and you're doing that, and like, wow, this dude's so high speed, and it's
Yeah.
like, really, you're not. But it's fine. It makes you feel good. Makes you want to do good, because people are like, oh, this guy knows what he's doing, and you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Just stay off your
But
phone
yeah.
too. Like,
It
if,
is-
you're if you're that guy who's just off your phone and trying to be proactive with his career, then you'll stand out. And, you know.
Asking questions to, and that's another thing. Asking questions to people, the right people. You'll learn something from everyone. You might talk to someone and say, "I definitely don't want to be like this guy. He's been a specialist for 8 years, and all he does is vlog." And it's like, what? And then you're like,
You wanna
"Oh,
be
I
like
want to
that
be
guy."
like this other dude who owns his own tractor business or whatever."
But long story short, the Guard is more chill than active duty. Active duty, you move around. You can move around, and you're pretty much like a face and a name to somebody. You're not really developing a bond. But here, it's like I've been with these guys here for like 3+ years more.
Yeah, I've known you
Known-
since the start of joining the military.
Yeah.
I've known you since your first year.
Yeah,
I met
we've been
you a couple
friends for
in
like
the section.
a decade or more. So, you know, you're more of like hanging with your friends. So unless you get someone that's really messed up walking in here and they're brand new, we're not really gonna tear anyone new behind.
Yeah, drill weekend's kind of like getting together with the boys, especially when it's like a home station drill. It's like you
Dirty
do
Mike
your
and the boys.
Dirty Michael. You do your stuff, you do your duties, and then at the end of the day, you release. You can go get food. Like you're not locked. I mean, some companies lock you down in the armory and they don't allow you to leave. Like they'll lock the gate and say you guys can't leave. But
And that's because someone's done something stupid.
Yeah.
yeah, so
With
that's
cocaine.
kind of what to expect if you join the Army National Guard. Some tips, any tips for people to stand out? I mean, basically hit that too.
Don't
right?
join just to go to college. I mean, I feel like if
That's what I did at first, but you know, it ended up working out.
well,
Yeah,
I
It's
just
like it means more
I'm not
than
gonna
that,
lie,
you know?
did
I just feel like if you join just for college, and you know, just from the guys I've met that you know went that route, they're not as motivated. They don't stand out. They just show up to get their schooling paid for, which is cool. But I feel like if you join, you should want to be here.
Try to make the best of it, you know.
Take
Because this isn't like any job that you like start. Like you can't just quit. It's like
Yeah.
you sign a 2-year, 4-year, 6-year contract. You're stuck with that contract unless you go AWOL, and then your warrant's out for your arrest. So you you can't just quit.
And then you can't go to college.
And then-
You're arrested, so.
If you didn't join because you wanted to go to college, you still get those benefits. So take advantage of those benefits.
Yeah.
Like early on, like especially if you go on a deployment or something and it's an easy deployment, take advantage of all the benefits that you can while you're in, even if you like just however long you're in.
Yeah, do research. Figure out what the benefits are. Like, healthcare is great. TRICARE is great. There's a lot of benefits out there. You don't only just get EDD, which is I think it's just run by Florida, Educational
Yes.
Dollars for Duty.
Free school.
They also offer FTA. You can even get FAFSA. So there's a lot of ways to get extra money into your pocket, not only just having school paid for. But
if you don't know those acronyms, look them up.
look them up, yeah. Anyways, we're gonna end this video here because it's kind of long. We're trying to chop it down a little bit. But it's a $40,000 bonus, but remember after taxes, they take 25%, so it's going to be $30,000. I hope you guys liked the video. If you guys did, give it a thumbs up. And if you guys have any other questions that you want us to answer, leave them down in the comment section below. And yeah, we'll see you guys after AT.